It is Steph and Heather and Mark,
Hi.
and we are here with Real and Raw Studios. And today we're actually going to be talking about, and let me get this mic up here. There we go. Time. And a lot about time, but like how we don't believe it exists, what that actually means, what Albert Einstein meant. And now I'm going to quote him. So I'm going to read it right here. Let's see if I can read my own damn writing. The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. That is Albert Einstein. And what was the guy's name? I think he just died recently. He was a physicist. The guy
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. So he was a firm believer of this as well. He did a lot of research. Like, what do you think? Because I used to be like, oh, that's a saying that people say, oh, time doesn't exist. But I never really understood what it meant, or it didn't resonate with me until much later on in life. I'd say in the last 2, 3, 4 years, I'm like, oh, I get it now. So what do you think?
I'm just going to say, I don't know. But I've had a couple of experiences that have made me question, like, what does it really mean? What is it really?
Right.
So, I remember I was watching one of those quantum physics, particle physics documentaries.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a thriller.
It's so interesting. Horror film for some people, right?
Right, yeah.
But it was on this like Higgs boson particle. If I'm saying it wrong, please forgive me. In this CERN collider thing they were doing in Switzerland. And I was watching this whole presentation on it, and there were two physics teams. One was about supersymmetry and the other one was defending chaos theory. And they were going into like, oh, well, once we figure out the weight and the molecular this and all of these different measurements of this particle, which
Is this what you were watching on like a Saturday night?
I'm a nerd when it comes to this kind of
you
stuff.
have like a box of popcorn. And
I get a little bit nerdy.
Getting ready
on occasion
for the show of, whoa, man.
Popcorn for the particle physics.
Yeah, remind me not to show up on that Saturday night.
Although you would love it.
Okay, all right.
You would have been like, yeah. So I'm watching it. They're talking about it. These two teams are going against one another, and they're trying to each is trying to disprove the other one. Oh, it is chaos theory, and it is supersymmetry. What it ends up this test or whatever they did was like, okay, ambiguous.
Okay.
And it was just right in between, and it was kind of like, wait a minute. It doesn't prove either way. So it was kind of like one. It was the God particle, and they wanted to prove like antimatter,
but they couldn't prove
couldn't prove it,
prove or disprove it.
And so then they started interviewing different people and different physicists on the different teams. And the one was like, I remember when I was a kid, my mother would put me to bed and say things like, someday when we all die, just say your prayers because we'll live together forever and ever and ever and ever in heaven. And he said, I remember most people felt comfort in that. And I was terrified by the thought of forever and ever and ever.
When does it end? Yeah.
Because of time, like this time component.
Right.
And I was so fearful of that. And I remember I had that secret thought myself. When I was a kid, I thought, I don't like it. I don't like this forever thought. I don't want anything to be forever. I want everything to end at some point. I want there to be a time component to everything. And I didn't know how to process that or put it in words as a kid, but I felt that same thing that he was feeling.
Okay.
And I was relating to that. And I thought, oh my God.
That is a very interesting concept because most people don't want to die, right? Because of time and they don't know what's going to happen, right? And I shared with you two a little bit earlier. I did ayahuasca recently, like super recent. And my biggest fear was getting caught in my own mind, trapped in my own mind, which sounds crazy. But, I've heard, people, you get lost in your own mind and you end up being a vegetable or something like that, which sounds crazy, right? But when you go do these things, I start to look at time a little bit differently and say, okay, well, what is it? Some of these experiences, they say, they're like 5-6 hours, but you can feel like you've, had an entire lifetime
Yes.
happen to you
Yes.
in these experiences. And
Yes.
so I'm like, wait a minute. Deja vu happens, right?
Yes.
There's so many different ways. I had a friend that was used to have what is that, sleep apnea, right? So then they go have these
Sleep study.
sleep studies done, right? And I found it fascinating because he said during the sleep study, you know, they obviously track your sleeping and your dreams. And he said, okay, I remember this dream, and they said it was 0.2 seconds long. And I'm like, he's like, but I know.
I was
when
there for
I
hours and hours, and
I
it was like at a lifetime. Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
I remember him telling me that
Yes.
maybe like 15 years ago, thinking, okay, wait a minute. If that really did happen, right? And he's being clocked by his dreams,
Yeah.
2.2 seconds. That's what they say, like the average dream is.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, okay, Dr. Quiff, you're going to have to.
Oh wait, yeah, Dr. Quip, he's a sleep guy, and he'll be able to comment on the
Okay.
whole like sleep dream thing.
Okay. So please correct me if I'm wrong on that. But that allowed me to think, wait a minute, how does it exist? And you go into these moments of, like, say, if you're with somebody that you're absolutely having the best time with, and all of a sudden it just goes by so quickly, right? But
Or a really good dream, and you don't want to wake from it, and you try to go back to sleep to have, because you're in this, like, it's not even a moment. It's like this like
it's a whole reality.
it's a reality,
Yeah.
and it could be years. It could feel like months, days, and you
It's
wake up and it's
nothing.
gone. And you
It's-
can't get it back. Have you ever
No.
have you ever done that?
Oh, I always think I can get my dreams
Yeah.
back, but no.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's very, very rare. So I try and keep a little notepad near
Yeah.
the bed. Like, said never. Really, I don't.
For like the
I did it
lucid
twice.
for like the lucid parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But no, you do. You start there, and like if you're doing something that's boring, right? That can feel like the longest time. Like
Yeah.
you're holding your breath, right? Like I've tried to hold my breath for some reason.
Because maybe do you think it's the perception and putting attention to it? So, in this whole quantum physics thing, it's all about what are you paying attention
Yes,
to? It is responding to you. It's like a thing, like an
Yes.
entity that's responding to your attention. The minute you remove your eyes and attention, there have been experiments where, like lasers and things like that, the minute the observer turns away, it behaves differently.
Yes.
You're the observer.
Right. You're in control of how this time meter thing is working.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. So that is crazy, because when you start to, like, even want to hold your breath, so you're focusing on that, it seems like an eternity. Like these 15 seconds feel like they
Yes.
couldn't drag on any. Like,
Yes.
cold plunging it. I thought I'm a pussy. Like I can't last longer than 15 seconds.
Because you're
in here.
thinking, I got to count. I have to pay attention to the time. Just,
Yes.
there's a way, there are loopholes, I think.
I think you're right, because when I got my, you have one too, the infrared sauna, which I love, right? But I started, and I did this kind of to be sort of pragmatic, if you will. I was like, oh, I'm going to start meditating and chanting in this sauna so that I can, kill two birds with one stone. Okay, that's awful. I'm sorry. About that.
No,
That's
it's
so
not.
gross.
You're kind of like checking it off and
Yeah.
doing all these things to the physical, the mental,
Yeah, but I was
yeah.
like, let me cluster these together.
Yeah.
Right. But
There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a really
well,
good
it was
approach.
A lot of, what I discovered and I stumbled upon was when I started to chant. Now, normally in there, after like 5 minutes, I'm dying. Like I'm like, oh God, stop! Like where's my brain, right? But I was chanting. The next thing I know, the lights go out in the sauna, and I'm like, oh whoa! It was 35 minutes. Like
Oh.
I didn't feel
Didn't realize
hot.
it.
I didn't realize it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about time truly not existing in the way that we perceive it to be. It's really, where is our focus?
Yeah.
Right. And if we can focus on being present, that timeline looks so much different than when we're not.
Yeah. I mean, I've really delved in the past into some of these things because I've had not an obsession, but kind of like and not necessarily a worry, but just thoughts and focus on like death and what that means and what happens to time. And so, I've delved into some of these things. And I remember years ago, there was somebody on Facebook, I wish I could find, I will find it. Some physicist who was talking about time is more of a spiral.
Okay.
When you're young, it's very wide and takes a long time, which is why when you're little and you're out looking at clovers, well, I don't know if kids do that anymore. I wish they would. And summers lasted longer and your school years seemed like they went forever. But as you're getting older, you're coming closer to the middle of the spiral and time is like so short. It's a perception. Even though the clock looks the same, the calendar looks the same.
Right.
It's your perception of it. And the only time I've been able to like cheat that
Yeah.
physically, outwardly, is when I go to Sedona, Arizona.
Okay.
It's literally like
The vortex.
a physical place. There are they call them the vortexes. The trees even grow kind of like in spirals.
Okay.
There's the spiral again. And I've been there multiple times where after 2 days I think, man, this is great. I mean,
Right.
it seems like I've been here 10 days. Most of the time when I go on vacation, like to the beach or places that are beautiful like that,
Right.
it's too fast.
Right. Right.
This is the one place that doesn't happen. And I love it as much at the same time.
Okay.
That's an outwardly outside of the internal that I've experienced it. The only other time I've experienced time is just forever is during like vision quests with entheogenic, like
Yeah.
the morning glory seed experience or LSD in the past when I was like a kid. It's like an hour is 8 hours.
Yeah,
You
well,
feel like it's forever.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that is something that when I experienced, I've done a handful of hallucinogenic style things, and it's one of those where I'm like, whoa, that was a lot of information. Like my brain hurts because one, we're tapping into some a space in our brain that, I mean, they say what, like 95% of the brain isn't really activated, and we're not using it that much.
I mean, when we say there have been different people,
Yeah.
scientists, neurologists, whatever, that claim it's, we only use, what is it, like 10% of our brain. I mean, I don't
like
know.
what's happening with the rats. And
I mean, I don't
feel-
really know how accurate all that. I don't know.
well,
How do they measure it? How do they measure
I
it?
don't know, but I will tell you this. Every time I've done something with like a psilocybin, my brain hurts the next day for like a day.
Oh, it's exhausting.
Because I think we're tapping
Yeah.
into like that part of our brain that we'll just say it's a muscle, right? So it's got much muscle atrophy because if we're not using 90% of it, like what are we actually accessing? And it does change.
Well, and then there's
perception of time.
there's all the glands. We're talking about like the pineal gland, even like just like every single gland, system in our body, I mean, is sort of corresponding to what they call the chakras. And, they say that, who these gurus, anybody that's considered like a guru in any of these like arenas are saying, there are ways to train that. You can train these systems, subtle energy systems, just like you can train your physical body,
Right.
your emotional body. You can train these subtle energy systems to work for you and to actually access them, have more access to them. It takes it's harder to me. I think it is much harder to train yourself in meditative, to be in a meditative state.
Right.
And to turn your brain off.
Well, because
to
there's
those
too many
thoughts.
distractions. Like we are bombarded with more distractions than ever.
Yeah.
Right.
In the Western world, especially.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
it is. It is and when you get to experience those moments of, oh my God, we do. I
It's
feel
like
we haven't
purity. It's
tapped
purity.
we haven't tapped into any real spaces in our brain.
And why?
Yeah.
Why in this modern day? Do you think it's an intentional distraction, like
Yes.
with technology
Yes.
and society and expectations and all of that? I think there's an intentional distraction coming from somewhere.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
There's
The powers that be, whoever they are, like, listen,
whatever.
this
There's
whole
a they. There's
system
so many
is-
theys.
I don't know who they are, and whoever they are don't want us to know. But no, it's absolutely, I feel, being run by a system that is trying to just constantly
Short-term
keep
gratification.
keep us off the path.
Yeah.
Keep us off, because again, accessing that part of the brain, when I, go in, and when you've done your own, there's some crazy cool shit that comes up when
Oh my gosh.
yeah. It's
I mean,
for me, it was profound. Like, I'm still digesting,
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks later,
yes.
and unpacking a lot of stuff that comes to you.
And
when you're
it'll probably
accessing
keep
that.
coming to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like the physical, pieces to it. But I'm like, okay, time isn't real, or it's not real the way we think it's real.
So one of the things that really made me feel a lot better and like gave me some comfort
Okay.
about this whole time thing and relating that to death. Okay, I will say with death. Was I remember waking up in the middle of the night. It was like at that crazy time, like 3:33 in the morning.
Oh yeah, and
That kind of
yes,
thing.
Yeah, that's when the universe starts rapping on you with the numbers
And I'm a big numerology person.
me too.
I sat up and I went, "Oh my God, that's it. That's it." And it was this. Time doesn't exist outside of like physical death. So when you die, wherever that space is, whatever people want to call it, if it's
Right.
heaven, if it's this, if it's that,
right.
you don't have to say, "Oh, I got to wait for my daughter to die now, and I've got to wait for my mom." And that, like if I died today and
Life is always happening.
in physical form, like my mom and my daughter,
Right.
they're already there. Wherever I'm going, they're already there because they've died too at a certain time on
Right.
Earth, which doesn't exist wherever I'm going. So everybody's already there. Your animals that you love, the past in your past
The energy
is already there.
Yeah.
So that's why I think we don't, because like we think, oh, there's the cardinal, and
Right,
maybe that's
right.
my kitty, and he's already there. I'm already there with him. He's already there with me.
Right.
It's just that this physical 3D Heather today awake
You need
right
that. You need that.
now is here.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's the way it's coming through to you at this point. And that,
Yes.
Yeah. And which it seems crazy until you actually
Think about it.
think about it. Like, wait a minute. It sounds crazy. Actually, it doesn't sound crazy. It makes more sense to me than anything, because think about it. Like, energy is like a wave, right? So telepathy. I find this fascinating. I had a friend that just texted me 2 days ago. She sent me like a screenshot with her and her daughter, and she's like, "Steph, this happened." She's humming this song. She's like, but like a minute before, she's like, I was, the song came to me, and then she's like, my daughter, like, why are you humming that song? She's like, I don't know. She's like, well, how do you know that song? Because she hadn't played it, she hadn't done it. It wasn't playing in the house. There was no music, but they were on the same wavelength, right?
Yeah, they tapped in.
Yeah, and that happens all the time. Like, you'll call somebody and be like, hey, and they're like, oh my God, I was just about to call
Yes,
you.
or a text, or you'll
Yeah.
see them and go, "Oh my God."
You text
Or-
at the exact same time.
I will think to myself, I haven't seen so and so in a while, client, like
Right.
for Botox or whatever. And then it's like within minutes they'll text, "Hey, I need to make it." There's some kind of, but we just consider, in this world of Westernism, we're going, that's pure coincidence.
Right.
No, there's something to that. There's a connection. There's
Absolutely.
a fabric we're all tapped into.
Yeah, there is. And I'm going to, so
What is that fabric? What is it?
Well, I don't know exactly what it's called. I don't even think that a name is necessary. But so I have a Reiki client who she's very skeptical. And I love that, actually, when people come to
Yes.
me with that. Because I'm
Yes.
skeptical, right?
And we should be. We question.
If
We ask
not-
questions.
Yeah, if not, you're going to get, life's going to really handle you.
Yes.
Not in a nice way.
Yes.
So,
Well.
so she comes to me, and her ex-husband, or not, I'm sorry, not ex-husband, her late husband died from cancer. And I had no idea when she first showed up why she didn't give me any information, but he came through, and that doesn't happen that often, I'll be honest with you. So please don't come to me looking for, talking
Like
to
a
your
medium.
dead family. Because,
Yeah.
it could happen, but chances are it's not.
Yes.
So this man just happened to come through, and I write all this stuff down, right? It's automatic writing, right? So that's the energy coming through. It's basically telepathy.
You're just kind of the
Yeah,
medium.
like a medium coming through, right?
Yeah.
So I give her this letter then after her session, And I don't really hear from her after that, I'll be honest. Like, I thought, oh, she probably thinks I'm nuts. I'm not reaching out to her. I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I mean, I'd probably just, fuck myself, and I'm not, this client's going to go talk shit about me. Like, this one's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Don't hear from her for years.
Yes. Oh, years.
So she reaches out to me this year,
Oh boy.
and she's like, hey, I'd like another session. You still doing this?
Yeah.
5 years later. Like, well, yeah, okay. All right. So she shows up and doesn't give me shit again. All right. And I see this picture in my mind of this man. And I don't know, again, when that happened 5 years ago, I didn't get she never confirmed anything. All right. So I get this picture in my head of this man, distinctive picture. And I start to tell her this stuff. Well, the next day I'm driving and the man comes to me while I'm driving.
Oh boy.
He's like, hey, I need you. And again, it's not like he's rapping him. It's just thoughts.
It's
thoughts come to me.
downloaded.
Yeah,
Like,
I need you to text her and tell her this, that I need to see a picture. These are the eye color I saw. This is what I saw. Exactly. Well, sure as shit. She sends me the fucking picture that I saw in my head 3 days before.
Wow.
Now, so that tells me this is a long way of getting around. Time does not fucking exist. I didn't make that up. What he did for me was so intuitive is that he had me write it out in the notes section where it was time stamped so that I could show her. He said, because she is so skeptical and she is so, she doesn't believe anything.
yeah.
That you are
I know
gonna
people
have
like that.
to do this to get her attention. This will get her attention, but I need you to do this for me. You're going to feel crazy, but it's going to work out. And I'm like, and in my head, I'm driving to the south side. I remember exactly where I was. I was going to have lunch with a friend. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this.
Yeah.
But you know what?
But you're like the messenger,
I
and
soldiered on like an asshole.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
yeah.
And I swear I would send it, but it's confidential. Her response was, oh my God, she sent me the picture. And I said, that's it. That's exactly, I need to see it. Here's the write-up that he told me to write up because you weren't going to believe it. And she lost it. And then I asked her finally at that point, I was like, hey, you know that letter that I basically, that monologue I wrote out for your husband, was that even remotely accurate? And she's like, it was spot on.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that the fact that the picture part, I couldn't get past that.
Yeah.
Like, how did I see a picture in my mind that she sent me 3 days later, but I saw it before? So there's no way I would know. But that's the way, I don't know. And so that kind of an experience sends me into this like tailspin of a spot. Like, what else is there? Like, if this can happen, what else can happen?
Right.
So,
Right.
I don't know.
And so then we start to for me, when I've had experiences like these kinds of things where time seems to stand still, where I've had this omnipresent feeling once, where it was just kind of like I was part of the whole room. I could feel everybody's feelings. It lasted about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was just like this high that I've never, there's no drug, it's just, you just sit there and just go, wow. Like you're absorbing it.
Because you are it.
You are it. Like
are.
you're the air, you're that person,
all-
you're you. And somehow you're able to still control your body like remotely, but
Well, it's like
you're not in
so-
it.
You're consciously aware of what's happening, but you're just like a bystander to it.
You're just literally
weird. It's a
tapped.
weird thing.
You're not this separate entity anymore.
Right. Well, you're one with everything.
You're
and that's
everything.
Yes,
Even though
yes.
this physical thing is still there, whatever it makes you. Like if I cut off my finger today, like I'm still me.
Please don't.
I might try to do that just as an.
Listen, I told you.
Should I just try?
I'm not the girl you want sitting next to you when there's blood
We
flowing.
could just try it.
No.
But I'm saying like, there's something that's you.
Right.
That's not physical.
Right.
And whatever that is, I was able to project that unintentionally.
Right.
Just
It was because that's what you do. I think that's what's happening to us. We are just not aware of it, that we are playing such an integral part in everything in this life.
and listen, I don't think we talk enough about dreams and sleep. This is what portion of our life? It's a huge portion of our life. And we can wake up and go, oh my God, this happened. But then sometimes, and it's so real and vivid and makes so much sense at the time.
Right.
But then you wake up and try to recall it and put it into like a language, English words.
Right.
And it sounds ridiculous.
Right. And then you end up saying, oh no, that wasn't as profound. And so you lose like this huge nugget of wisdom. But I don't know if you actually lose it because it's sprouted. It's got some airtime. Now, maybe you come back to it later or something else happens where you piggyback off. But I think every experience that we do is piggybacking off of something else.
And these types of things, they're not meant to be literal, I don't think. I think they're symbolic, metaphorical, and they have a much higher... There's some other language within it. It's even beyond mathematics. It's like symbolism.
Right.
It's teaching you something, and it's eternal.
Yeah.
And to put it into like English language and to make it seem so, like box it into something that makes sense to everybody, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
It has to be interpreted in a way, I guess, only by us. I don't know.
Like individually.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Subjectively, like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
So, anyway, that's our take on
Time.
Time. And and a little, we threw in a little of the psychedelics as well. God, we're
I know.
fans.
We seem to be fans of these
We
entheogenic.
are. I do. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go do it every other weekend. But I am a fan.
I'm not a fan of the man-made stuff.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of
it all.
Yes. I am more of a fan of like the naturally occurring things out there, and like the ayahuasca, the peyote, stuff like that. And just to respect it as like a being. Like it's a being. It's a spiritual being. Respect it as such, and don't abuse it and try to get high.
It's a healing thing for sure.
It's a sacred undertaking,
Absolutely.
I think.
Yes, it is.
So
okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Bye.